Welcome, everybody, to another episode here of the CF After Dark post-game show. I'm joined by Austin Keeney, Dylan Kuhn, Matthias Schwarzkopf, and Tom the Stash Turner. How's it going, everybody?
Going good.
What up? I see a couple Bears fans. One more a little bit more decked out than the other one, but and then Tom over there just repping the Packers. Just I don't know, because they're getting when does that game start here?
In exactly about an hour.
Cool. So Iowa State gets the win tonight over Oklahoma State, moved to 16-0, and they are headed to Allen Fieldhouse on Tuesday. Kind of wanted to get you guys' initial thoughts, and this was obviously just a game that was kind of another one similar to Baylor, where they get off to a slow start, and they just kind of have to chunk through it for a while, and then eventually start pulling away just a little bit. Granted, they never pulled away from Oklahoma State the way they pulled away from Baylor, but just kind of another one of those. It's now a couple games in a row. It's hard to nitpick wins too much, but this is the second game in a row that we've seen a slow start from this group. Do we see this as a? We'll start with Austin. We'll just kind of go around the horn. That's a good name for a show. Someone should make a show called that sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll go around the horn and do you see the slow start as any sort of like a trend to raise the red flag about, or is this a thing that it's just kind of a one-off?
I don't think you could say it's a one-off because it's happened
three
games in a row now. Yeah. First off, I think you got to give a little bit of credit to Oklahoma State. They're probably a much better team. We were 18.5-point favorites today. That was pretty disrespectful to Oklahoma State. They came out and played well to start the game. You got to give them a little credit. Although I didn't get to see the first couple minutes because I think South Carolina and Georgia are still trying to get their game finished up. I really don't know, but
no, Austin, there is a thing in the corner of the TV that says you can watch it on the app.
Okay, well, you know what?
Seems like a you problem, not a me problem.
I know I could do that, but then I'd have to listen to King McClure for a little bit longer. So, you do get a little bit concerned because this is 3 games in a row with a slow start. But also, I think this team is so good that I think they kind of understand that, you don't want it to be this way, but if you don't give 100% right off the bat and you take a little bit of time to feel out the game, you still have enough time to go out there and take care of business. So, yeah, I'd like it. I'd like to see us come out a little bit quicker, especially going to Kansas on Tuesday night. If you fall behind there, that's just a recipe for disaster. But overall, I wouldn't say it's like the most concerning thing in the world because, again, they got it together. They came out of the second half. They came out of the locker room for the second half just guns blazing and then basically put the game away. Held them at arm's length for the whole second half.
Shout out to our good friend Micah Allen from formerly of Cowboys Ride for Free, RIP Cowboys Ride for Free, the Oklahoma State SB Nation site. But shout out to Micah. Dylan, I don't know. Do you see this as a concern?
I like Baylor. It felt like we came out flat. This one, we started 0 for 4 from 3. There was some early foul trouble that I think messed up rotations, especially at the end of the first half. Even Jefferson and Lipsy weren't on the floor. The only time you're going to see that is if there's foul trouble. So, and Oklahoma State loves to get to the free throw line. And that it's just hard to get in rhythm when it's just free throw after free throw after. So I think it just took a little bit of time for Iowa State to get into this one. But yeah, like Keeney was saying, Oklahoma State did a really good job of attacking our defense. They weren't really they weren't making bad decisions when they were getting pressed and trapped, and did a good job of getting it to the middle on the short roll and then dumping it off for easy layups and guys out of position on defense. So I think it's a little bit of not great by us, pretty good by them. But, I mean, I would much rather be a second-half team than a first-half team. If you had to pick one. And also, I just think Iowa State, they're gonna wear you down. That's the whole, you don't want to play that defense for 40 minutes. Nobody does. And Houston does the same thing. That's what good defensive teams do. So, if we come out hot, we're going to beat a team by 25 points. I don't care who they are. But if you're able to have the second half we did and have the guys step up, then I don't think it's too much to worry about.
I know that one of the reasons that they were not able to fully leave Oklahoma State behind a chunk of that game was Taman Lipsy's foul trouble.
Yeah.
Tom, I guess Skipping Matthias. Fuck you, Matthias. Tom, again, second game in a row now. Sam Lipsy picks up 2 very early fouls. Now, you could argue one of the early ones in either game that were kind of ticky-tacky, but again, foul trouble keeps Taman Lipsy out of the game for 10. I have to see how many minutes he actually played, but I mean, it was probably 10 minutes he missed, or close to it. And, Iowa State's offense takes a notable step down when Taman's off the floor. How do you go about fixing that? I mean, it's happening again.
I think there was a 2-minute period where they were having trouble fixing it. And then they realized our best ISO player is Milan. Let's put him in the ISO and let's go to work. And that's what he did. He had like 9 points right after that because he was scoreless for his first 6 minutes or so. And he rode the bench for about 3 minutes. That's what I noticed. I texted it in the Slack. He's got to just be more aggressive, especially with Lipsy and foul trouble, because if you put that much pressure on both ends on Jefferson to do all that, that's when those turnovers are going to come up. Like, that's just too much energy and too much production from a big guy to sustain for the entire game. So Milan to go ISO mode and hit those couple ridiculous threes, that was huge. And I think he just needs to do it a little sooner because we've seen a lot of these slow starts. I kind of put the blame on Milan there because he's not coming out firing. And when he's firing, that just opens up the lanes for us to go downhill because the main problem was we weren't going downhill. And Oklahoma State was. Now they average 90 a game. That's what they're going to do. They want to get to the line. But, yeah, we're not going downhill. They are. Milan opens it up for us, and we kind of saw that in the second half.
As Andrew's pointed out there in the chat, too, Lipsy did look a little gimpy parts to the game. I know our man on the ground, Jake Brennan, said that he was stretching quite a bit during a lot of the timeouts and whatever else. That'll be something maybe to keep an eye on, too, because, I mean, with his obvious, extensive, injury history, never like a big catastrophic injury. It's always just groins and hammies and muscle injuries.
You could tell there was 2 layups that he finger rolled like an extra step away from the basket, where if you get one more step in or at least like a half dribble, that's an easy finger roll. But it was just a weird look and he missed both. And in my opinion, I thought it's because he didn't want to land on that leg.
And and after you said that, I was paying attention to a couple of the defensive possessions after that, and it looked like he didn't look slow, isn't the right word, but he looked visibly uncomfortable going back and shifting back and forth, like in his defensive stance. So I don't know. It was a little bit of a weird look, but I don't know. Overall, though, what's worth noting is that as Taman Lipsy has been sitting out the last couple of games, Killian Toure is getting a lot more possessions, getting up to speed, and we'll finally let Matthias chime in here.
Oh, well, I'm going to be a little more doom and gloom about this. Not really doom and gloom, because it's like,
fuck. It's 16-0, Matthias.
Yeah, 16-0, and obviously you don't want to be playing your best basketball in January. You want to be playing your best basketball at the end of February, going into March, and these last, I don't even, you could probably toss the West Virginia game out because they really did beat the brakes off of them, but Baylor, this game, if you're one loss away of Arizona from being the number 1 team in the country, and this feels very nitpicky, but it's really not. It's just that, there's still a lot more to be desired from this team, in terms of consistency on the defensive end of the floor and on the offensive end of the floor, starting slow in games. And, Dylan, you said that if you had to pick one, you could start in this to be a second half team or a first half team. You would obviously pick second half team. And obviously that, I think everybody would say that, but a first half can also crater you into the ground just as easily as a bad second half too. So, that's, I guess my biggest thing on this team right now is coming out of the gate strong and burying teams that are far less superior than you. And now I don't think Oklahoma State is some wide margin of far less superior by any means, and they're obviously better than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. But just going forward, especially going on the road to Kansas, come out of the game a lot stronger and don't put yourself down 9 points in any more basketball games for that matter. So, but then again, we see the top teams, they have off nights. Michigan lost today. And so it's probably going to happen one of these days because it's just the nature of basketball. So nothing's going to be perfect every night, but let's just try to find better consistency on both ends of the floor.
I was going to ask, do you guys think that, we went such a long time without really playing a super competitive game? We went from Iowa to a couple of those crappy non-conference games, and we haven't exactly been playing world beaters to start the Big 12 schedule yet. So I think there might just be something psychological about like, hey, we know we're way better than this team and we're going to win the game anyway. So
it's adjustments really, because you're going into totally two different styles of basketball. So obviously, I think we've all talked about it before, and everybody kind of understands it, that the Big 12 is a grinder league, and it's physical, and it's get up in your face and make you work for every possession. So that's a little bit part of it too. So just adjusting within each game and moving on from that. So I know this team is a lot better than being down 9 points in the first half. So they'll figure it out. I'm not saying Iowa State's any less of a national title contender today than they were yesterday by any means. It's just that's what I'm looking for.
Speaking of getting down by 9 in the first half, the guy that we briefly mentioned him in the pregame, before we went live, is that in the first half, that 9-point skid there, when they got down, Jefferson hit a big three that kind of sort of took the lid off the bucket. But before that, Dominic Nelson played some nice minutes for the first time in a couple weeks. Looked healthy for the first time in a couple weeks. But he did not play in the second half, I don't believe. He did. I think he was on the floor like late, maybe, but I'm not sure. Even when the pre-post game, that's right. Even when Taman Lipsey looked a little hobbled, we still didn't see him come back in. So I guess I'm kind of wondering if anybody has a theory on that. If it was just kind of we needed a spark off the bench, and that's just what he did type of thing. If he's just the guard version of Eric Mulder now, where you just bring him in when you need a
Jamarian Bateman had 2 minutes and was never to be seen again after the 3-point foul.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't
He
really
was
think about
exiled to the bench.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, he only played a couple minutes, didn't he?
On Thursday, I said on offensive, I was like, I think this is a Dom Nelson game, and the fact you're going to see like 12 to 15 minutes. We got 6, but I like that I was able to kind of sniff that out, because what is he great at? Transition layups, getting out and running. And it looked like he was a little more healthy than he was against Baylor. And he got out and run. He even made a free throw. That was pretty sick, but he had a couple reverse layups that were really nice. He got out and just opened up the floor for our guys to help Jefferson get down low and drive. But yeah, I would really like to know if anybody has any ideas, or we just find out from Otts in the postgame of why he didn't play in the second half, because Bateman can get sped up at times, and Oklahoma State's a really bad team because they love to run. And I want my true freshman out there kind of getting way too sped up. And obviously he had that dumb foul too on the 3-point shot. So I would like to know what happened to Dom there in the second half, because I thought he played some great minutes. Now, obviously we all expect that. I just want to see if he could also prove it on the defensive end and making more free throws, because we all know what he can do going to the rim now. Like, he's great at it. But I would like to see him do the other things, because if he can do those and we can see that happen, then I'm going to be shouting from the rooftops, like, give him more minutes. Like, let him shine a little bit more.
I think there's something he might be like the break glass in case of emergency guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we needed him because he provided a little bit of offense in the first half. Second half, we came out so strong and we were up by 8 points almost immediately. And they kind of clawed back into the game, but it never got closer to like 6 points for the back half of the game. So we didn't really need him anymore.
Yeah, I think he's like a next man up, foul trouble, reserve kind of player at this point. And that's just like, I think a couple of guys, Mulder, him, Bateman looked really good against West Virginia. I was kind of hoping that was him turning the page, but it wasn't even that bad of a 3-point foul. His foot just kind of dragged behind and got mixed up with the Oklahoma State shooters. It was just kind of unfortunate. And he was coming from like mid-court. That's a tough closeout to do when you're running full speed. But
there's no way he like got pulled out of the game for that.
No, there's no
way. Yeah.
But like the depth on this team it has to be the best that Otts has had. I mean, especially early on, it was just like we had, maybe like 4 guys that probably belonged on a Power 5 D1 team. And now we have 8, 9, 10, depending on the day, how everyone's playing. So it is, I mean, there's only 40 minutes in a basketball game and only 5 guys can be out there at one time. And if your top 5 guys, I mean, every single starter finished with double digits today. Like, if everyone's playing well, you got to keep your guys out there that are on the wooden list. And Milan is having the best shooting season in college basketball history currently. I mean, this team just has so many weapons, and even if they're not firing on all cylinders in the first half, they're gonna figure it out. Like, these guys have played so much college basketball and have been through the ringer in so many games. I think Kansas too is like kind of what we were saying. That team's gonna come into Fog Allen with an edge. Kansas isn't like a pick to win the Big 12, but Fog Allen is such a tough place to play that I think if you can't get up for Allen Fieldhouse, then
a slow start there would worry me a touch.
Yeah.
I've seen a few comments on this that Bloom was supposed to be on. Bloom was originally supposed to be on the post game today, but he had a last minute, had to reschedule. But per Bloom, I could pull up a screenshot of the text, but he is planning on being on the post game after the Kansas game on Tuesday.
Oh shit.
So yeah, hopefully we win. Otherwise we might have a very angry and drunk Bloom on, which honestly might be excellent TV. Who knows? That might be a nice consolation.
They forcibly replaced Bloom with me. Actually, I just jumped on without telling anybody.
Yeah, we kicked Bloom out for a guy wearing a Kyle Orton jersey. It's crazy.
Good shout out. Nice. Good pull. Good pull.
Southeast Polk native, correct?
Kyle Orton was maybe like the third best Bears quarterback this century, by the way. So
that's not really saying much, Austin.
It's not saying much, but
the only one I thought of that wore number 18, and that's the important part.
Kyle Orton could complete a forward pass, which is more than some of the other guys we've thrown.
Kyle Orton has to be the third best Bears quarterback since 2000, right? Has to be
ever, probably.
Kyle Orton too. He has the deep. This is a deep cut, but the picture of him pulling up to training camp with like the long hair and the guitar case. That makes
excellent.
Me, that makes me laugh every time.
Excellent.
Bloom's a ref guy. I got a lot of comments here about the refs.
He actually even tweeted about it during the game. Said he couldn't believe how many there were in the first half.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the whole flow, like I'm not like saying like any calls like really egregious or anything like that, but like it's like
everything.
They're disrupting the flow of basketball games so far.
Someone even made a point in the comments.
Maybe
earlier.
it's happening more in like other Big 12 games too, but I've just noticed it a ton more just through the Iowa State spectrum. It's just they just find a reason to blow a whistle, and it's going both ways against Iowa State and for Iowa State. And it's more of the flow of the game thing than anything really like egregious.
Like Fancy pointed out here, it's like when the game was allowed to just play, Iowa State started to pull away.
When we're as dependent as anybody in the country, the way they're blowing the whistle. We're talking on top of each other now. Sorry, Tom. You know what, Tom? Go ahead. No,
I just wanted to say, like, you can always tell the difference. You can just always tell the difference between the refs noticing fouls and looking for fouls. When they're looking for fouls, there's going to be a whistle every 30 seconds. And then to jump on the team ref side, I think they also get out of their game a little bit when they're calling too much fouls. Like, they're also not in the flow of the game. They start seeing a foul, and then it's human nature where it's just like a rolling thing of we call the foul down here. If we want to be consistent, we got to call one down here. And now all of a sudden you're looking for a foul to call. It's going to happen. It's just like the dam breaks, and this is a classic game that's going to happen in. No more talking for me. I'm done now.
Where's the around
if you stop talking, people are going to start asking it. They're going to like keep asking.
Where's the around the horn mute button?
That would be sick.
If we could somehow get we need to get Aiden. Aiden, make that happen. See if we can get like an around the horn plug in here where I can just like.
Well, keep funny you say that. We can mute people, but that's just too much.
Actually, we can. That does sound. Yeah, but you have to do it individually. Aiden, if you're Aiden, clip that. Aiden's still not here. He's not producing the show. So, overall,
coming for Matthias.
It's normal.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, though, it's like in the end they grinded out a double-digit win against a team that they ideally should be there. I think like a couple of us said too. I think Oklahoma State could be a bubble team, but they're not the like 2 years ago Oklahoma State team where you should blast them. For Oklahoma State, it's a nice refuge because they've had a rough go of it as of late in pretty much all sports, except for wrestling. I guess they've been still pretty good, but it's hard to complain too much about a win in the Big 12, whether it's 5 points or 15 points, even if it's over a bad team. Going into next Tuesday, though, getting out to a slow start in Allen Fieldhouse isn't going to work. We've seen this in past seasons before where they're undefeated for a long time. They slug out a couple ugly games and then they go on a little bit of a slide. They lose two of 4 or 3 of 5 or something like that. How do you guys do you guys see this happening, or do you see them getting up for Kansas and being like and stopping these slow starts and getting back up to it?
Well, if you're not getting up for Kansas, who are you getting up for?
I think this is where you like guys like Tame and Lipsy, who have been in the program for 4 years. Milan's been in the program for 3 years. These guys have played Kansas enough times. They know. The teams that turn over every year, that's all first year guys. They don't get it the same way that we will.
Yeah. I think there's 3 kind of reasons that they get up for it. One, the guys in the locker room, like Austin just said, hey, we've had a couple slow starts. This isn't happening again. Let's go. 2, you're going into Fog Allen. Like, you should be ready to go. And 3, Kansas is going to come in wanting to win. Like, people always say, like, oh, they're coming off a loss. That's bad for us, which is true. But also it gives us a little heads up, like, hey, this game's going to be physical right away. We got to be locked in. So I think there's 3 reasons, like, right away, that if this is a Final Four team, if our best players, Jefferson, Milan, and Lipsy, are, like, very good, like, also coaching the other players and kind of talking to one another, they will be ready for this game. They will communicate with one another. Hey, this is how this first 4 minutes is going to go. We're not going to get a whistle right away. You got to be strong. No stupid fouls. That includes Lipsy. Like, I feel like there should be a lot of communication in this locker room. If they come out in a hot start, I think the team is very for real and will be like a lot more focused for all 40 minutes and hopefully not a bad start once again.
You guys can tell me if I'm crazy, but I'm kind of with 49er fever here. Before Iowa State tipped off against Oklahoma State, I kind of had this.
So 49 fever says Kansas had a few bad games so far. It doesn't seem to matter. No reason to believe they're turning it around on Tuesday.
I just feel like Kansas is like they got the superior freshman that seems to only play in the first half and just disappear in the second half, but I just feel like an all-around encompass of both teams, Iowa State is far better all the way through. It's still going to be tough to play there, obviously, but
the Darren Peterson situation is one of the strangest
weird.
College basketball situations I feel like there is a minutes restriction that people just aren't saying out loud. He has those wraps on both legs now. It started as a single hamstring injury, and now both of his legs are wrapped. It's bizarre. And that has to be so hard. I mean, when he plays, he's incredible. He's going to be a top 5 pick. He could sit out the rest of the season today and he's going to be a top 5 NBA pick.
100%.
But that's so hard for a team. Like Melvin Council Jr., for example, is probably their second best scorer. And it's okay, does my team need 10 points out of me tonight on 6 shots, or do I need to take 15 shots tonight because Darren Peterson's only going to play 18 minutes? That's such a hard spot for his teammates to be in, of being they just don't know what is expected of them any night because they don't know the availability. And maybe they do. Maybe they are having those discussions inside the locker room of hey, Darren's playing 18 minutes tonight is what it is. Now you know. So, but it's just strange. I think that game comes down to, and Nigel was saying on Let Him Cook, it's I wonder if it's hey, the number 3 team's coming to town, you're playing 33 minutes. But when we play Utah, you're going to not play that game at all. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but if he's at full strength and he plays a full game, that team is way different than they are.
Yeah.
He's not.
Well, he's averaging 16.9 points in the first half and then 9.9 in the second half, which you put all those two together. You put those two together, that's a pretty solid night, So it's still he's still going to do damage to you, whether he's playing first half, second half, whatever it is. It's still going to be a challenge for Iowa State defensively to guard this guy, no matter how many minutes he plays. It's just that I know Iowa State defensively can guard a lot of these guys. Like AJ from BYU is going to be another tough matchup, but it just seems like if you can limit that type of player, the rest of it's going to take care of itself. And, for Kansas' sake and our sake, like it just seems like, from 1 to 5, and then you go into your bench, which I hope in Kansas we're playing more guys off the bench than what we really did tonight. But hope for that matter, like you put all that together, like I just feel like Iowa State's far better than Kansas.
I mean, I think if Darren Peterson's on a minutes restriction, plus when he's on the floor, he has to deal with the best on-ball defender in college basketball. And then also the guard next to him is one of the best on-ball defenders and one of the best off-ball defenders in college basketball.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you're Kansas and you're looking at, I mean, you need Darren Peterson to play 30 minutes. You need him to be good for 30 minutes, and you need another guard to step up. Otherwise, Iowa State is going to put them in hell pretty fast, because they just have the personnel to defend anybody. Like, I mean, I know we've been talking about, I'm trying not to get like too far ahead of myself here, but I mean, like right now, Iowa State's biggest weakness is sometimes it itself doesn't, gets off to slow starts, but it's not because the other team is like doing something. It's because they're missing Bonnies around the rim or they're missing open jump shots. Right now, Iowa State's the only thing that has slowed Iowa State down consistently up to this point is Iowa State.
And potentially the health of Tamin Lipsey, which and he's always going to be banged up. But
even if he's banged up and plays 20 minutes or something like that, Killian Toure has been getting more and more minutes with these foul trouble games from Tamin. And as you get going, Killian Toure will get more comfortable with all this. Plus, it's nice that you have Josh Jefferson too. There's been times where Toure and Lipsey are both off the floor, and they just put Jefferson at the point guard. Yeah. And having that ability to do that is a cheat code.
We sick Jake on it. I don't know what their media availability is going to be prior to the Kansas game. I'm guessing not much, but
I think Friday is when they usually have.
Okay, well then we're not going to really know. I would like Jake to kind of ask the question, like, are you banged up a little bit? They're probably not going to tell us anyways, but
they
just
won't
ask.
Yeah.
But knowing how he plays with reckless abandon, full speed every step of the way, he's probably dealing with something that's just the way it goes, and we're just going to have to work through it. And thankfully, this year compared to last year, there's somebody behind him that could do what he's doing. So
Toure can eat like 80% of his physical when they need him to.
That's why we got to go back to what Tom was saying earlier. Like get Dominic Nelson kind of going in full stride here, just in case something does happen. And I think we've talked about it on every post game show the last like 3 nights since we've moved over to Cyclone Fanatic. But develop the bench, be prepared for something to happen, because something might happen.
I almost wonder if Tuesday at some point, I think teams are going to start strategizing with Darren Peterson, and maybe we're the team to try and do it, where you just say, hey, Toure, you're going to follow him around until he gets tired, and he's going to check himself out.
Right.
I'm not sure how much control Bill Self has over the situation, honestly. Like, they were in a competitive game against West Virginia today. They were down by like 8 to 10 points at the under 4 media timeout, and he just didn't come back in the game. And
it wouldn't shock me if he's got some sort of minutes restriction built into his NIL deal.
That's what
that would be crazy.
That would be my clubhouse theory, is that they've got an agreement in-house, whether it's on paper or just a handshake thing, that like Darren Peterson will go to Kansas and he'll make X amount of money, but he's only going to play 20 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever it is. And that's just how it's going to be. And
I think it's more of like the Kawhi Leonard thing, where it's just as soon as I'm not feeling 100%, I'm not going to play.
Playing basketball.
Yeah, that's
also crazy.
If that's the case, then he can just say, I'm not feeling 100%, and then just take himself out of the game, and that's just what it is.
If Tamin Lipsey did that, he would have never played a minute of Iowa State basketball. Yeah. He has not been 100%.
A player, no matter what the situation is with Darren Peterson, that could never, ever in a million years possibly exist at Iowa State.
No,
never in 100 years.
I would be so frustrated as a fan, like a Kansas fan, if in putting us in that shoes, like if Monchilovich is like, nah, I'm gonna play like the first 15 minutes and like maybe
he
three.
We would the next, like an hour later, we'd see a tweet that says Monchilovich is no longer with the program.
Yeah, it's just like I couldn't even imagine going through that. Like we literally asked like Keyshawn Gilbert with a groin injury last year to go out in the middle of the Big 12 tournament game and snuff it out in that first round, and then never saw him again. But it's like the guys that come through Iowa State like do that kind of shit. And then we got this dude, which I get it. Like the NCAA is a step forward into the NBA, and a lot of these guys have bigger dreams and aren't going to care about the Kansas of the world once they leave, almost called it Manhattan. Manhattan, Lawrence, they're both shitholes. So like, who cares? Whatever. But like, I don't know. That would just frustrate me as a fan. Like, people are donating to the collectives, and you got the donors there in Kansas who are paying for these guys to show up, and you got this dude's like, nah, play 19 minutes.
And Kansas just spent most of 2 decades basically being the only team in the conference that mattered. And then
now they don't matter.
And now
now
you could argue that they are like over the last 3 years,
at that best,
the last 2 plus the next 2, you could argue Kansas is like the 4th or 5th best program in the conference right now, which sounds insane, but I mean, right now Iowa State's a better program. Houston's a better program. BYU is a better program. Arizona. You could
I don't know, guys.
You could argue Texas Tech maybe. Like,
can you tell me, has anything changed about college sports in the last 4 years that might make Kansas not stand out as much?
Maybe like Kansas did something for 2 decades that nobody else could do, and now that everybody can do it,
turns out Kansas basketball is just SEC football. That's all it was. That's all it was this whole time. And
Kansas is 21-19 in their last 40 conference games. They're damn near 500 in their last 40 conference games.
Thom is locked in right now. He's thinking about Jordan Love throwing touchdown passes to crush Matthias's dreams.
That's one leg pass. Ooh.
Though, Tom, you do need to work on getting a bookshelf behind you and put like some.
I added one book today. Wait, where's it at?
What book?
I added one book today.
Bible.
It's a Packer book.
It's a Packer book.
Cover it up.
I just think it would be really funny if you put a bookshelf there and just fill the whole thing with
there. The collection of the greatest pack. Oh, I thought that was like the collection of the greatest Packers protections ever. Like, Tom is in there studying Packers offensive line. Yeah,
I'm ready to get in the trenches.
Hell yeah.
Tom's trying to understand the finer nuances between zone and gap blocking schemes.
Tom, if you dive into that offensive line world, man, we might, we could make an offensive line podcast.
Ooh. It's not awesome.
Now we're talking.
There we go.
So we'd have to
really do it. We record in trenches.
Ooh.
In actual trenches.
Wow.
Are you you're talking about like digging a World War I trench?
Yep.
Yeah, like we're going off the beaches of Normandy, dude.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Like I'm just thinking like the logistics of digging a trench.
You don't worry about what we do
all the time.
Actually, I could. Well, they did. We could rent a backhoe. That wouldn't be that hard.
That feels like cheating.
Chris Williams can rent us a backhoe.
Are you saying we have to go back and dig trenches with little shovels out of the lunch pails?
Yes. If we're doing this, we're going to do it right. Offensive linemen do not skip on the hard work and labor.
I mean, yeah.
We ain't no quarterbacks inside this podcast.
I mean, sometimes they do. Did you watch our offensive line for the first 8 years of Campbell?
I tend to forget.
Don't say
those
the
things.
C word.
I don't know, you guys. I feel like this year we might have the best line of the Campbell era.
Yeah.
Well, we only have 15 people to choose from.
Yeah.
Build the whole offense out of linemen.
I think it would be really funny though, if you got a bookshelf and just filled it with like smut, just like the court of thorns and roses bullshit or whatever like that. Just a bunch of smut back there. It'd be
50
really
Shades
funny.
of Grey lines at the top.
The whole series of 50 Shades of Grey.
Which is probably like PG-13
It's
compared
all
to
of that,
a lot
and
of
then just
other
like
smut books.
It's all of that in Coach K's autobiography. That's all it is.
My wife read some of those books, and like I'm like reading through them. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is crazy. The stuff they put in those things. Now that we're way off topic,
I was gonna say this might be as good a time as any. I am gonna be at Allen Fieldhouse for KCCI. I do have to run right now. We're celebrating my birthday with my family, so I am gonna peace out.
What's our age, Dylan? What's our age?
27. My Killing Toure year. Big year.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. Levi,
You ugly son of a gun.
What was
you
that?
You want to say anything, Levi? You got anything?
I don't got anything on my top of my head.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right. Okay.
I feel like I did tell you happy birthday the other day.
I think you did at the very end of the day.
I think I did. Yeah, it was like 11:59 p.m.
Yeah,
because you also share a birthday with CFF Direct Contributor David Braga.
Yeah,
and the whole day was happy birthday to Dave Braga and nobody.
And, I was kidding. And then Jake at the very end of the day, like he didn't. I thought he like contributed to that during the day, But he didn't at all. He stayed silent during the whole time. But I had just like had enough that I sent the "you bitch, fuck you" the Larry Bird Michael Jordan meme, and Jake was like, "What the hell?" And then I had to scroll back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Jake never did pile on and all that." But
I want it on the record that I wished Dylan a happy birthday and not David because we are at war. David is also a Packer fan.
That's true.
hate week.
I can
right.
week. That.
See you, boys.
I'm gonna jump
Later,
off
Alan.
here too. Thanks for having me on, guys. Bear down. Tom, I hope you have a miserable night.
Oh, come on.
Horrific.
Well, we'll all be friends at the end of this
And then tomorrow, yeah, we'll all be friends again.
while crying in
respect
each
that.
other's arms.
It's going to end in a tie.
But if the Packers
That's,
lose,
that's
whose arms
the
will
problem, Tom.
whose
We
arms will
can't end
Tom
it a
cry
tie
on?
this time.
Not with that attitude. What if they just let a tie happen one time and then send them
Honestly,
both through and
if
kick the
a-
Panthers
if
out?
a-
Just kick
if
the
a-
Panthers out.
If a bomb hit Soldier Field, I wouldn't be pissed because that stadium is a dump.
I mean, would you want the team's finally good? Why would
The teams could get out. Both teams could get
Oh,
out.
okay.
Yeah, let's get them out of there. Get the fans out. Let's just bomb Soldier Field.
So you're just separately just saying we should also get rid of Soldier Field.
Correct.
Mm.
100%. Place is a dump.
The one and only time I've ever been to Soldier Field was for the 2015 Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup parade.
And it was a dump
Fantastic.
then.
It was a dump then.
Mhm.
Fun parade though. Good parade.
Good parades.
All right, boys. Got any thoughts for today? I mean, it's kind of one of those where it's a workman-like win. Wasn't pretty. They got it done.
Well, I have if you scroll, if you wanted to, scroll all the way to the top of the chat,
Oh
you
my
would
God.
find the first comment that says we incoming 5-hour conversation. We are at 37
35
minutes.
35 minutes.
We have
Yeah.
a long ways to go.
See, unfortunately, what we may have done with the first post game is we may have set the precedent that these are going to go like 2 hours a piece.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. Nope.
No. Now, if you go down to Allen Fieldhouse, you have a fun game, maybe beat some ass, then
Yeah, what time does that game tip off?
8 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah, because I want to go, but I have no idea what time I'll get off of work. So that will be TBD.
well, that will ring into our potential 3-hour bits. Yeah, not good.
So we'll have
Ouch.
on Tuesday, we'll have a post game starting at about 10:20 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Going up on
For the Cyclones, gonna get some caffeine, and yeah, hopefully talking about a win that one because that'll be a miserable show if we fucking lose that one.
Do you guys think that will be like a top? I don't want to say top 5, top 10 most angry like Fog Allen crowd because they're obviously upset with Peterson right now. You just lost to West Virginia.
They need a win.
You're 1-2. Iowa State's coming to town with our defense. Like that already upsets the fan base to a degree with the way we play defense and everything. Like Peterson, who's already frustrated with his body, is going to be frustrated with a defense. So like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of booing and just expect not a lot of foul calls to be called in Kansas is what I would say.
I don't know if angry, but more
frustrated with his body. Is such a funny phrase.
Are they angry or I wish we had
He's not going through puberty. He's got a hammy or something.
But it's two hammies.
I wish
That's
I don't know if we have any Kansas fans watching or not, but like, is it more like, are they pissed off or like just like annoyed that this is what they've come to?
If there is for no reason in particular a Kansas fan watching,
We had a Texas Tech fan the other night.
Did we?
Yeah, just randomly just chilling in the chat. I'm surprised. I'm actually glad there isn't anybody in the chat tonight watching from the shower. That's good. We've made progress. It is also 6:30 on a Saturday night. I think it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Per Twitter, the Grim Reaper of losing important games just showed up on the Bears sideline. Spike Lee.
Really interesting.
But isn't he a Packers fan?
No, you're thinking of Lil Wayne.
Why would Spike Lee be
why
at a
would
Bears
Spike Lee be
Packers
there?
game?
I don't know.
That's so
But
messed up.
the Chicago Bears just tweeted out that Spike Lee's on their sideline.
That's unfortunate.
That guy has watched a lot.
Well,
of
GG's,
losses.
Tom. You're moving on, buddy.
Stop. Zach Tom's not playing, and he's our best O-line.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. We have Spike Lee, apparently.
Is he coming off the edge? 'Cause he might get a sack.
Known Bears fan, Spike Lee has showed up. What the fuck?
Spike Lee is a Knicks guy. He's seen a whole lot of losses over the years. And now he's currently standing on the Chicago Bears sideline.
Bears are also repping the all blue uniforms tonight, which is also a detriment to society, and which means the Bears are going to lose.
They should wear the orange ones.
Austin said they're wearing navy pants.
Navy pants, all navy tonight.
It's got to be bad vibes, right?
Bad vibes, 100% bad vibes.
Bad vibes.
But it's also the Bears in a playoff game, which is automatically bad vibes.
So it cancels out.
But you are wearing a Kyle Orton jersey, so
Shout out Kyle Orton.
That's good vibes. Kyle Orton was a dog.
Never forget the day that Jay Cutler and Kyle Orton were traded for each other. Weird times.
Mm-hmm.
It is snowing in Chicago right now, though. We got some bear weather.
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
That's true. All right. You guys ready to wrap up? You got anything else?
I'm going to go consume some food before I kill about 30 beers. So,
You haven't started on the 30 beers?
yes.
That's
This whole like
just
skinny
a
like
glass.
it's empty. I got to refresh.
Oh,
This whole skinny camera thing is like really throwing off my like where I'm at in this.
Listen,
place.
this is good vibes for the Packers. He's got his Seneca Wallace Packers jersey on.
Love that.
That's good vibes.
That's a
right
good
there.
pull.
Vibes.
Good pull.
That's a very good pull.
Yeah, that's good vibes. What color?
Honestly,
Jason wants to know what color your pants are.
my pants. Oh fuck! I'm wearing navy, dude.
Oh,
You're
no.
also wearing all navy.
Oh no.
Been wearing all navy all season
Bad
though.
vibes.
I've
vibes.
worn this same exact outfit for every game this year.
Okay, so it's worked pretty well then.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So suck it,
I'm not sure where the balance of vibes lands currently, but
dude. It's
I'm
telling you, like,
leaning Packers on the basis of Spike Lee for the Bears and Seneca Wallace Packers jersey for whatever that was. Oh, for Andrew. Yeah.
ever since the Bears landed the 2 seed and had to play the Packers for their third time. What the fuck are you doing back there, dog? Fucking like died.
Now that would be bad vibes. Now that would be bad vibes.
That would have been really bad vibes. Jesus.
I heard that over my like headset. I'm like, Jesus.
You like cough or something?
It must have, but he's like looking at me like, what?
The Panthers just
Oh,
blocked a punt.
They just blocked a punt.
Jesus.
Wow. Crazy.
All right. I think we'll call her for this edition of the CF After Dark post game show. For our departed friends, Dylan Kuhn and Austin Keeney, for All Navy, Matthias Schwarzkopf, for Tom the Stash Turner. Everybody, we'll be back on Tuesday night after the Kansas game. Hopefully, Kansas win. With, as of right now,
We
Brent
beat
Bloom
Kansas,
joining
you
me.
mean.
What did I say?
You said
Kansas
after-
win.
Kansas win.
Well, I meant a win over. You know what I
Jesus
mean.
Christ, Levi, you're already dooming us. You want to talk about bad
Jayhawk
vibes? There it
Levi.
is, right
Packers
there.
Packers by 14. It's just what it
Jesus.
is.
Packers to cover. Hit the bets right now. God. And Kansas to cover and then some because of fucking Levi. Jesus.
It is what it is. I have no dog in this particular fight. My only team, my one true love, is the St. Louis Rams. So
Look at here we go. Bears lose, dog dies, Matthias becomes a country singer.
That'd be a fire country song, though.
that would be a crazy good country song.
Hey, I mean, I'll
alrighty.
take the cash, I guess,
Yeah, absolutely. So
Bear down, baby. That's gonna
alrighty.
look really bad in the
I
morning.
think
Clip it, Aiden. Clip it.
yeah, clip it. So all right, we'll see you guys all on Tuesday after the game. Hopefully after Iowa State defeats Kansas in
There
Allen
you go. Good
Fieldhouse.
recover.
Well, yeah, stuck the landing that time. As of right now, the plan is Brent Bloom will be joining us. I don't know what we'll see what happens there. Maybe to get late and Brent will have something else going on, but hopefully not. Hopefully Brent will be here and we'll be talking hopefully about a win. So everybody have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Go Clones.